the goal for this morning is to get as much food prepping done as we can. This, by the way, is this morning's eggs. We're getting around 20 eggs a day right now. We'll work on cleaning up some of this stack here a little bit later, but I find doing some meal prepping here and there, some weeks it's a little bit more scattered all throughout the week. That's actually fairly common, like you saw in last week's video, but it is so handy, especially when there's a really busy week coming up, to have had a little bit of a meal prep like this, or just for once in a while to really kind of restock everything. So that's the goal here for this morning. We'll see how many things we can knock out. And I want to start off with getting some meats going, because obviously these will take a little bit of time to cook. Starting off with 2 beef roasts. I think I have a chuck roast and a bowler roast here. I'm gonna go ahead and mix a rub for these, and we'll completely cover it with that rub before putting them on the smoker. We used to do these roasts with just some salt, granulated garlic, and then pepper, and that is delicious. But recently, I've been adding in some extra herbs and really loving how that's been turning out. So that's what I'm gonna do here today. You can definitely play around with what herbs you're using. I am gonna do some sage along with some parsley. I add a good bit of that usually, along with some rosemary. For the salt and the granulated garlic, those are kind of the only ones that I actually measure out, because I want about equal parts of salt and then the garlic powder. No, you're good. Okay, Josh is a hard one to catch these days. He is busy on the fields this time of year, which is so fun to see. You can see we really covered these, but now is usually when I hand this to him, so I'm going to let him tell you what we do on the smoker.
It's too complicated what I was trying to explain to you, right?
Yeah.
So set the smoker at 225. Put it on for about, well, the total cooking time is 7 to 8 hours. Usually 3 hours uncovered until it gets to about 140, 150 degrees. And then wrap it in tin foil and cook it the rest of the way until the temperature is about 210. 205 to 210. Basically, you know it's done when you put the meat probe in, and it just goes in like butter. If it's tough when you poke the meat probe in, then it needs more time. So yeah, that's the process.
Thanks. All right, so I'm gonna go throw these on now, and we love this meat sliced. We usually have some right after it's done, whatever meal is coming, because it is so tasty. But it's also really good used as a shredded meat in soups. On top of a salad is delicious. You can make sandwiches with it. There are so many different ways that you can use this in. So it's something that's just really handy to have cooked and ready in the fridge to use throughout the week. Next up, I want to cook a whole chicken. I use this meat for a lot of similar ways that I just talked about for those roasts, but for a cooked chicken, obviously you have the added benefits of all that delicious broth. Now, I know often people will season the chicken before cooking it, and that does make a very delicious broth for soups and things like that, gravies. But I like to keep mine plain just because I often like to use it to make bone broth hot chocolate. So I am just simply gonna pour a bunch of water over this and then let it cook here for probably most of the day, honestly, before we pick off the meat and put the broth into jars. Sure. Yep. I have 4 gallons of Jersey milk here, so I want to turn the cream into butter, and then we'll take the skim milk and get cottage cheese started with that. All right, got just shy of 3 quarts of cream from the 4 gallons of milk. So this is gonna go into my KitchenAid mixer to churn into butter, and then these are gonna go into my pot to start cottage cheese. I have with me here some of my very favorites from Nuflora's April collection. This collection launches this coming Wednesday. What is that? I think April 22 at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And let me tell you, there are some beautiful fabrics and patterns in here that I'm so excited to share with you. If you've been here for a little while, you know the drill, but basically Nuflora releases a new collection every single month and have so many beautiful options, especially if you're also conscious over natural fibers and appreciate that kind of thing. They have definitely been my go-to now for the last number of years, but they do tend to sell out quickly. So my advice is always be there when they launch if you have your eye on a specific piece. My discount code GOLDENHOUR10 is good on this entire collection as well as the entire website. So I hope that helps you out. I am starting off super strong with the Destin dress. This is actually the one that I was the most excited for the entire collection, so I had to put it on and try it on for you. But the lavender in this is absolutely stunning. Just look at that detail. It has this embroidery all throughout the entire dress. I love this ruffle sleeve, which actually continues all around the back. The back has smocking, so while you have that more structured front, you still have lots of room because of the smocking in the back. And then the bottom has this beautiful ruffle. It does have pockets, and then the buttons here are functional, but the tie is not. So a little note, I'm smaller chested and I'm wearing a small. I wish this tie was functional because I do have a little bit of gaping when I'm bending. So when I'm actually wearing this out, I'll probably end up pinning it right above the tie here just to make sure that everything is secure and I don't have to constantly worry about holding my dress in like this. This one is 100% cotton and it's also lined, so you don't have to worry about wearing a slip, especially as we start welcoming the warmer weather. Well, they absolutely nailed it with vintage florals this month. Look at this. I cannot get over this fabric. It is such a pretty dusty blue on this white background, and then the sleeve, while we're up close and personal, is this not the cutest thing ever? I think it is so, so sweet. Very comfortable piece, and if you're in fluctuating seasons of motherhood, pregnant, nursing, all those things, these are great pieces because they adjust to all those things. This is a very stretchy waist, so it would definitely be bum friendly. And then I didn't actually realize this before I went to try it on just now, but it has a tiny little clasp right in here, which is super nice for extra privacy. You don't have to worry about that gaping. This tie is functional, so obviously would be great nursing friendly piece as well. I love this tiny little lace detail around the neckline, and that follows all along the back of the dress as well. This one hits me 2-ish inches above the ankle, and I forgot to mention this before, but I am 5'7", and I'm also wearing a small in this one. This dress I actually wore to small group the other day and absolutely love it. Josh loves this piece. Of course, that makes it one of my favorites immediately as well. I love wearing things that he really, really loves. But a few key things on this dress. Obviously, we have this beautiful ruffle neckline again that follows all the way along the back, and then you have that smocking again, giving you that just really comfortable feel. Nothing is restricting. I did size up to a medium in this one just because I don't like when dresses are up too high. You can probably see that. That is not a very flattering look with my body type. And then this one also has a tie in the back, which is so nice because you can further adjust. It might be a little bit loose otherwise, but you can tie that and makes it look nice and structured. This fabric is a dream. I hope it's showing up for you, but it has these tiny little Swiss dots that are just add a fun little texture. The florals, I would say, are like a mauve color with the green leaves. This one does also have pockets, is 100% cotton, and is lined. Next up is the Bodega Bay dress, which let me back up and give it a moment quick. And I paired that with the Kalispell cardigan. Now, both of these pieces actually are 100% cotton. The dress is lined, both the lining and the dress are 100% cotton, so amazing with the natural fibers. But let's start off with the dress. So it is such a stunning piece. The fabric is such a pretty blue color. I love this tiny little just detail, adds some extra interest to the dress, and of course that follows all the way down. The buttons along the entire front of the dress are functional, but the straps on this one are just the thin, like spaghetti straps. Personally, I prefer a little more coverage than that. So I was thinking possibly of taking some fabric off the bottom of the dress and turning that into like wide straps, or I don't know, there would be some different options. But obviously wearing it with a cardigan like this is another option. Wearing this with a white t-shirt tied in a knot would be another really cute idea. And then a moment for the cardigan. It has such a pretty like knit to it. I love the scallops here along the neckline and then coming all the way down the front. The buttons are fabric covered as well and functional, so you could button it up if you want to. And for the cardigan, I sized down to an extra small because I like those to be fitted on the arms, but obviously if you want a more oversized look, you could keep your regular size or even go up a size. This is the New Orleans dress. I am wearing it in a small, and it is a fun pattern. So you got this chocolate brown background with these kind of pinkish flowers with the green florals. And I'm about to show you a dress after this that's actually really similar to this, but a few key differences. So for one, this one has short sleeves, a little bit of a ruffle on the sleeve there. This neckline is a little too big and gapey for what I can wear. So I probably will not be keeping this one, but it would be a good bump-friendly option. The waist is super elasticy. It does have pockets, and then just a really comfortable slip-on piece to wear. Pop on a pair of sandals and go. So super easy piece for the summer. This is the one that I was referring to that's very similar. I actually wore this dress all day yesterday. Don't judge, I had to show it to you in the video. I don't think it's too dirty, but if you see anything on it, that was me. Super comfortable piece. I love how no fuss this one is. The neckline feels more tucked in. Love that. I love the sleeves or the sleeveless, whatever you call this. I have really wide shoulders, so this might be a little bit more like a cap sleeve on you, but you can also kind of play around with it because it does have a very elastic neckline, which is super fun. This one is also 100% cotton. It is fully lined and just such a comfortable piece. I have a feeling I will get a ton of wear out of this one this year. And up close for these florals, pinkish peachy color, I would say. And I am wearing a small in this one. I'm actually really excited about this piece. This is the Linden blouse. I'm wearing a small, and I was hesitant because of my wide shoulders. I often have trouble with this part right here looking too tight, but I feel like this one works. I love the eyelet detail. So in the back of the actual shirt part, there is a lining, so you don't have to worry about being able to see through, but then the sleeve, it's just the eyelet, and it's so pretty because at the bottom of the shirt it has the same scallop, which you probably can't see too well, but that goes all around the front and the back. First thing I have to show you with this blouse is the fabric. What a dream. I love these little blooms on it, and then of course we have all the detail, the trim again around the neckline. I love that the tie here is functional. So that does not adjust the whole way around the blouse, but it does adjust just this little part here. So you can customize that a little bit to your liking. I like to wear it up like this, but you could also turn this into more like an off the shoulder that way. This is the Sadie blouse, by the way, and it is 100% cotton. This is what the back of it looks like, but if I untuck it, you can kind of see it's very loose. I even sized down to an extra small, so something to keep in mind. You can wear it like this, very comfortable for even working outside in the summer or going out to the beach, going to the market, or you can tuck it in even all around for a much more structured look. This would be beautiful with some of the older Delphi skirts tucked in as well. So again, a really versatile piece to wear many different ways. Okay, I'm gonna do the last one here with him. He wants mama. But this is basically just the type of shirt that I like to wear when I'm out mowing or gardening, get a little sun on the skin. This is the Avalon tank, and it comes actually in probably 4 different colors this month. The buttons are functioning. This one is also 100% cotton, and I sized up to a medium in this one just to give it, I don't know, a little bit more room. I hope that helps you out if you are looking to purchase anything from the April collection, or if you're just looking for some summer or spring style inspo. I hope that was fun for you. I have shown you the end process of making cottage cheese many times, where I pour it through my strainer and all of that, but this is where it starts with. So you can do whole milk, but since we have so much skim milk from all the cream that we like for butter and ice cream and all those things, I do love to use the skim milk up this way, and I don't feel like it makes really a noticeable difference in the end result. And so to get the process started, I just want to heat my milk to 72 degrees, which is basically room temp. So often if it's a first milking after the milk has been picked up, I don't even have to heat it. I can just add the culture, and I'll show you here in a minute what the culture looks like before we add that. Well, the kids went and stocked up my milk supply again, so we can soon move on to the next milk project. But for now, my skim milk here is 72 degrees. So this is the culture that I use. I believe you can order these on New England Cheesemaking Company. We just picked these up at a local Amish store that has them, but I'm pretty sure that you can order them online there. You just want to make sure that you have the correct numbers. So take a screenshot of this or something. And then for 3 gallons of milk, you only need 1/8 of a teaspoon of starter. And so a pack like this, if you're only using it for cottage cheese, goes a long, long way. I'm actually going to use this exact same starter to make some cheddar cheese here really soon, which is what the milk is for. But for the cottage cheese, we are just going to stir this in really well. Pop the lid on, and then this just sits at room temperature for 16 to 24 hours, and then I reheat it, and I would love to show you that process sometime. It's really not hard. It sounds harder than it is. Basically, you cut it into curds, and then you'll let it sit for a couple minutes and then heat it a little bit hotter, and then after that is when you strain it. So if I think of it tomorrow when I'm cutting the curds, I'll try to include a little bit of footage of that if you're visual like me and that is helpful, but it is honestly so simple. I try to have cottage cheese in the fridge at all times. We use it in so many different things, from ice creams to dressings and dips. So anyway, but that's all that I need to do with this today. Leslie is actually starting us off on our next recipe that was on the list for today, which is granola. I've told you before how we go through our granola jar very quickly. The kids love that for afternoon snacks or breakfast, all kinds of things. So it's something that we go through quickly, and I know I've shared our recipe on here multiple times before. I can leave that for you again in the description box if that is helpful, but I wanted to show you a little mom hack, if you will. If you have little ones, even Avi and William love to pitch in with this. William's a little bit young to do it even with this way, but the other two girls are able to do this recipe all by themselves as far as mixing it, putting all the ingredients in with how I put it together. So I just did this on Canva, and then we also ran it through our laminator that we have for school so that it doesn't get wet spots. But basically I just put a little picture of each ingredient on the side, and they thought it was the best thing ever. They've been having so much fun with it and keep asking, can we make granola again today? So that's been really fun and just a fun idea if you also have kids that love to help in the kitchen. Nearly every fall I like to can or freeze quarts and quarts of applesauce, and I never got that done last year. We didn't know what to do with all the peaches that we got from our tree and ended up turning some of that into peach sauce, which was delicious too, but I think my personal preference is still applesauce. I know it's not technically apple season, but I thought it would be a special treat for everyone if I at least made enough to last us maybe a week. So I'm gonna get my big pot and hopefully at least fill one of these. When I make applesauce, I keep things very simple. I just wash my apples well and then cut out the seeds, core them, and then dice them in chunks like this into a pot. I'll add a touch of water, but not too much because they release liquid, and I don't like my applesauce to be super runny. And just cook that down till they're soft. It's so easy. I then throw it into the blender. If I have cinnamon, I love adding a little bit of cinnamon, but no sweetener. That's what's next on today's agenda. I would love to hear, by the way, while you're watching, in the comments below, and let me know what you like to food prep, or even just foods that you like to have on hand. Yeah. Yeah. Well. Well, it's time to tackle some of our egg pile. Kyra is actually making some chicken, well, in this case, beef fried rice with some of the eggs. I'm gonna boil a bunch of them. We love hard-boiled eggs in so many things, and I love when the yolk is a little bit jammy on the center, but I want my whites cooked. So I boil them for exactly 8 minutes, and then I put them in some ice water and then peel them, and that usually has the perfect texture to my liking. And then plans changed and my morning got interrupted and I had to do some other things the other day. So I'm gonna take parts of 2 mornings instead of that one very productive morning and carry on and hopefully accomplish a couple more things here to just make meals a lot simpler here the rest of the week. A lot of my meal prepping is, as you've already seen, a lot of basics and especially meats. I do really try to think ahead and have things thawing so that it's easy to throw something together in a short amount of time, but it is so helpful to have a few different types of meat ready in the fridge to make soups or burritos or sandwiches or so many different things that are easy to throw together within minutes when you have those things ready. So I'm starting off here with some hamburger patties. As the weather warms up, we're definitely starting to reach for some more of those summery type foods, and so that's one that I thought we would work on next. I just go in with clean hands, then mix it all together real well. I grabbed this little, it's like a hamburger press a while back from Amazon. I can try to link that for you if you are looking for something like that. Basically, it just gives you nicer uniform patties, and then it works well to freeze it in a cookie sheet like this. I'm separating it with parchment paper just until it's frozen, and then after that transferring them into Ziploc bags for long term. Fruits and veggies is something that I really try to have as accessible as possible for everyone, which is why I actually keep 3 little baskets. It's at ground level essentially by the coffee bar. I don't know if I've shown you that area too much in the bottom. I am very intentional with keeping a basket of fruit down there as well, because I've found even from when they're just wee little toddlers, when fruit is something that they can reach, then they'll ask for that a lot more. When they're trying to tell you they're hungry, especially if they're not talking much yet, they know where to find food pretty quickly. And so that has been something. I'll switch up the fruit that's in it. Right now I have a bunch of apples. Again, just doing what I can to make eating fruits and vegetables and fresh produce as easy as possible. And so what I want to do in preparation for that is, one, wash them, because any step that we can minimize for actually eating these is helpful. Then I also pulled some celery and some radishes and some carrots from the fridge, and I want to just wash those. Those are things that could be eaten with a hummus or a dip, or even just making it simpler for me to turn into stir fries and soups and that kind of thing. I am currently in the process of healing my gut, and it's definitely a process from what my doctor was saying. And so things like soup are super healing for the gut, but they're also really beneficial for growing kids. So for them, I might supplement with some fresh milled bread with cheese or something like that. And for myself, I might opt away from the bread right now, but just simple things. I feel like this video has not been anything groundbreaking, but I hope that it's just encouraged you in your kitchen this week. It doesn't have to always be the prettiest meals. Just having some of those simple basics on hand can really make or break the deal when it comes to having nutritious meals on the table consistently for your families. Maybe I can do it too. Sure. Yeah. Well, I don't feel like that was anything super groundbreaking this week, but these are things that honestly really help me to have ready, thank you, in my kitchen, in my fridge for quick and easy meals, and I hope it gave you some inspiration as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friends.
Golden, golden thing.